Okay, so we're going to do some feeding of some critters. You can kind of see the nursery over in here. This is just my favorite 10-gallon aquarium that I actually replaced the glass in. I think you guys went through that process with me. But it's cool and has chrome and stuff. And spiders in their enclosures. And I keep them in here. That way I can keep, these are the young ones. Except for that one. We'll get to them. That need a little bit more moisture in their life because they don't have the wax on the outside of their exoskeleton yet to keep the moisture inside. So I just kind of keep a little one of these. This is just a, you have gotten sauce delivered in this before, full of water kind of in there, and underneath them is some substrate, and underneath the bottom of the aquarium is a heat mat. Now people say don't heat your tarantulas from the bottom. The way I get away with it is that I have that, and then I have substrate, and then I have spiders. If you put the mat directly underneath the spider, as in, like if you were to put a mat right here, that spider would burrow down to get warm, and then it would potentially literally cook itself because they don't have the sense to turn off that shit. So don't do that. When they get older, if you need to heat their enclosure, put a mat on the side, or ideally a couple inches away from the side, or what I've got over yonder is those are on the bookshelf, but it's above the baseboard heater. So in the wintertime, I turn on the baseboard heater and it resonates heat up. Some tools we have here. Again, you'll notice we have our little hidey hole crumpled up paper in the corner. Our catch cups are next to us. We have our tongs. Generally, I use these for feeding, these for killing. We'll get to that. I have really big ones. Should I need to do anything, I often use this for moving stuff around the cricket enclosure or the tarantula's enclosure. I also have a handful of crickets. These are, I probably don't have enough big ones for the bigger cricket or spiders, so some people are going to get, or some spiders are going to get two. We'll see how much of this we get on camera, but let's go for it. So in this one, this is Felony, the P. vittata. They are an arboreal species. They are currently living back here. There's a piece of bark. They've made web curtain. They brought all this dirt and combined it with web to make it a home right there for them. I hope you can see that. That's probably where they are. You do want to give a precursory check. I'm going to get the flashlight out and do a look. And since the top is not clear, we're going to make sure they're not in the top. I don't see them. So they're probably in their little hole. There is, you're probably not going to be able to see it, a little entrance right there. They have a little doorway. And so that's where I'm going to try and put the food. They're very small. They're like this big, I don't know. And so I try and pre-kill the food. This is also a homemade enclosure. It's just a spice jar. You'll recognize Parmesan shaker, right? I like this for this one because I don't have to open the entire enclosure. It is notoriously fast, much like Ricochet, whom we'll get to. But so set the spider down, grab a cricket. You don't want a cricket bigger than the spider. And I mean, by that I mean they're carapace, really. Oh, come on, you're the one I want. You're the only one I want. Hoo. Hi. Okay, so you get your cricket. For these younger ones, because crickets can damage a spider, they have little jaws, and if your spider goes to molt, they can kill your spider. I get them by the head, I smash their head, I set them down next to the enclosure so that I'm ready to use them. And so since this one seems to be hiding, we're going to open it with some confidence. Now, there's a water dish down in here. It's just a soda cap, like a Mountain Dew, or I don't know. It's a green soda cap. And so I'm just going to use this little mister thing, and I'm going to spray some water down in there. Fill up that cap. I'm going to give a couple squirts, maybe a few on the side, so we get some wet dirt, some wet substrate over here, because that allows moisture to evaporate in there and makes it more like a natural atmosphere, kind of like after it rained. This is not a particularly moisture-dependent species, so I'm not going to do too much with it. Some of the others we will do a little bit more. Then we grab our cricket, and we're just going to set it right at the spider's doorstep. Hopefully you can kind of see that. We're going to close it up, and that is how we like a feeding to go. We're going to move on to metric. Metric's getting a little bit bigger. Metric is the last one, Poecilotheria vittata, commonly called the ghost ornamental, because they have real gray, black, and white coloration at the end, or when they become adults. Sorry, gotta get something to drink. Let's get this out of our way. We've got, I'm just going to check and make sure the camera's going. Yep, seems to be going. This is metric. Metric is Brachypelma homore, Mexican red knee, New World terrestrial. They're known to be very common docile spiders. You've seen pictures of this one. They have red knees and such. Maybe you can see them in there. Again, you'll be able to see, I can point with this one a little bit. There is a water dish. There's some shrubbery of sorts. There's a rock in the corner there. All that white stuff, if you can see it, on the rock is poop. Let's see if we can show you this. Here, maybe you can see that. That's all spider poop. I don't know why this one likes to poop on the rock, but they do. And then this is a coconut, or a half a walnut shell that used to be big enough for this thing to crawl under. They do have a little burrow that they do go in occasionally, but this species is known to be out and proud most of the time anyhow, so don't worry about it too much. When it gets a new house, it will get a better place, better house. I don't know. Again, we're going to handful of squirts in the water dish. This, being a Mexican tarantula, is also not super moisture dependent, but you notice I'm going to squirt around the water dish a little bit, create some moisture in the atmosphere, make it feel like it rained. We grab our little cricket. Maybe. There we go. This one's a little small for this spider, but it'll be okay. And because it poos here, we kind of have this deal, the spider and I, that's the offering table. That's generally where I put the food for this particular one. I'm going to give it a little bitty one too, just so it has a little bit more of a meal. Again, we're crushing the head. Just for safety's sake. When they get bigger, let them hunt. But when they're little, leave it alone. Okay, so open and enclosure, fed spider. Moving on to the next one. Again, super easy. That's the way it's supposed to go. Now, moving on to Acme. Oh boy. We're going to use the flashlight to locate the spider. I don't know if you can see, but right there in the burrow that they've dug all the way through the other side, and right there out of the burrow, I don't know if you caught that. That was exciting. And that's their home. They've put a front and back door on their home. They've done a lot of excavation. They've only been in this container for like 2 weeks. And all of that excavation and all this dirt up here, there's a rock in there. Oops. There's a rock in there. I'll show you in a second. Let's use 2 hands. That's a better plan. That they have totally covered up with dirt. And again, this is a pretty chill one, so don't worry too much about it running around. But when it gets, and it's old world, and it lives on the ground. When it gets older, it will be, this is going to be a big spider. Like when it gets full adult size, it could be 9 inches across. Again, just like the last time, actually, we're going to fill its water dish. Get some more suction in the thing. There's the corner of the rock. We're going to put some water in the corners there. I try and have the rocks in a corner, and part of the reason why is I can shoot behind them and get water down to the bottom layers of the substrate, and that way the spider can crawl down if it feels like it needs more moisture. That's why I do it that way. It is not for everybody. It's not a bad plan, but losing light. Sorry about this. We're going to do this as quickly as possible. Again, we're going to grab a cricket. And we're going to pre-kill it. We're probably not going to see anybody. Well, we might see prairie eat live. I'm going to set it right here at the edge of their burrow so they can find it. When they're smaller, even when they're older, they can be animals that just eat what they find. They don't have to kill their prey. Then it gets exciting. So this is Ricochet. Checking to see that it's recording. Ricochet is a piece of Letharia regalis, Indian ornamental, known to be very, very lightning fast. Currently, at least last time I checked, they were living, there you go. Hopefully you can see that right there behind a piece of cork bark. This is the one that gave me the heart attack recently. So what we're going to do, I'm going to keep the light on because I might need it. We're going to tap the enclosure to startle them. And see, I don't know if you can see how their legs are bunched up, but that means they're kind of hiding. To prevent what we did last time, we built this piece of cardboard so that I can have a hole away from the spider so that I can work in the spider's enclosure. We have our piece of cardboard. I'm going to open the lid, but not remove it. Because, again, as you guys have heard me tell this story, they are lightning fast. They also like to eat live crickets. So, you know what we're going to do? We're going to, I caught the cricket. Not thinking ahead so much. We're going to lift the lid and cover it. Okay. And now, see how I've moved the hole over the enclosure? I'm just going to drop the cricket down in there, and it'll crawl right into their space. And see, spider can't get out. They also have a water dish. I don't know if you can see, but it's right there, next to where the cricket is. Cricket trying not to die. I'm going to use my fancy piece of cardboard to put the hole right over the water dish. Fill it. Spray around the sides to get some more moisture in the enclosure. Much like doing it around the rock, it gets more moisture in the enclosure. I know it's not exciting to see a piece of cardboard, but what is exciting is this part right here where I put the lid back on Ricochet, and Ricochet is right there, and just, I'm sorry, we were too slow, but they caught and killed the cricket. I hope you saw some of that. But they've got the cricket in their mouth right there. They are an amazing hunter. But again, because they're lightning fast, so be aware of your stuff. You'll see here some webbing on the side. Again, dirt curtains, like the other piece of Letharia, felony. So that was successful. Last one we got is kind of our pride and joy because it's our oldest spider. Here's Prairie. So you see I'm still working inside all this area. Prairie is old world terrestrial and super chill. And I don't know if you can see, but right there with their nose into their burrow. At this point, when I open the enclosure, there will be a little bit of wind change. They will probably dart into their burrow, but maybe we can get to watch them eat a live cricket. So I'm going to unlatch, open, but not all the way. Get myself a cricket. Again, I would give this one 2 or 3 this size. I'm just short on crickets right now. Didn't go to the store. But no, I don't think we're going to see them eat. But, oops. I'm going to drop the cricket here in front of the burrow. It's only a one-legged, it's missing one of its hind legs. Let's see if we can't catch some of this while I water over here. Filling the water dish. Putting some water on the side. Again, to create that ambient moisture. See if I can... you probably aren't going to see this even if you do see it. So what we're going to do, we're just going to take another cricket and kill it. Maybe. You can catch the blasted things. That's why I put them in this little cup. And just make a juicy trail of a couple of these because they're small. There. And I'm going to do it on the way to the water dish because I noticed that prairie will often eat and then go to the bar afterward, which is kind of hilarious. But spiders do what spiders do. Come here, condom cricket. Crush your head. Okay. Now we've got our trail of cricket tears. I'm going to close it up. We do not have to stand and watch these animals eat. They will handle it on their time. Put that back on the shelf. Move the crickets out of the way. And there you have it. That's simple, basic beginning spider care for anybody that might need to do it. Thank you.